guys. I was just reading some manga. Wait. What was that? Anime people don't like furries. Excuse me. Gonna have to teleport now. Hey everybody, it's Candy Paws here. And today is an epic battle between otakus and furries. Now the good thing is that I am both an otaku and a furry. So I'm basically gonna just be battling myself here. I'm gonna be making fun of myself a lot. I'm going to be poking fun at both furries and otakus. And I'm especially gonna be hard on the weebs out there because, hey, you guys don't cut us furries enough slack. Obviously, there's huge differences, and I'll get to that later. But yeah, basically, I want to talk about what is a furry and what is an otaku. So furries that I've explained to in, my past videos is a fan of anthropomorphic animals, animal that walks and talks on two leggies. That's pretty much what a furry is. So it's just someone who's like a really big fan that kind of takes things too far. Where we start buying pictures and badges of our characters and dress like our personas, and we go to conventions and spend all our money on the furry community, which involves all sorts of things like art and t-shirts and figurines and just so much things. The only difference I would say between like what a furry is compared to what a anime fan or a otaku is that with the furry fandom, we make our own characters. Now in the anime community, there is such a thing as an OC, which stands for an original character. Now, when I'm in the anime community, I also have my own original character named Krista. I don't have any art of her, she's just kind of like my own character I sort of made up in my head, but she also was created by, basically me mixing in a bunch of animes that I've seen all together, and while I created, this character Krista, right? But when I go to anime conventions, I don't dress up as Krista. I dress up as already existing characters, like Raven from Teen Titans and Toru from Fruit Basket. What an otaku is basically people that take it a little bit too far of anime, mangas, and figurines, right? It's just someone who's a really big fan of anime. So with these two fandoms, you have two kinds of people interested in two different things, but they both take it to the extreme. Now, for some reason, the anime community has this very weirdly, almost more so than, normies, just, everyday normies about us furries. They have these, really weird, opinions about us. And they're almost more, these opinions are stronger than any others that I've, heard in the past, at least in person. I hear a lot of normies that get a lot of comments of trolls and haters all the time in my comments, but in person, I think I've dealt with more anime furry haters. Basically what I'm saying is that there's a lot of people in the anime community that just hate furries. Now, I don't know why that is, but I'm going to tell you why I think it is. And this is just my opinion, of course. I am in the anime community, so I kind of know and I've heard things, and I can kind of get an idea as to why the anime community is especially harsh on us furries. Even though we're both pretty close to being the same thing, both of our communities, we dress up we're weird, we're awkward. We have comics of our, characters or interests, and shows and TV shows that we absolutely love. I mean, we have Beastars, right? Like, most furries aren't becoming furries just because of Zootopia. We're becoming furries because we've read Beastars and we think it's super cool, right? And Beastars is manga, now an anime, and it's been actually bringing a lot of furries, especially in the anime community, into the furry community as well. So I do see a lot of people coming from the anime community into the furry one, kind of like me, where you're sort of both, or you're becoming more of a furry, and your first experience with furries was due to being part of the anime community. So if that's the case for you, I mean, that's exactly what happened to me. So it's because of the anime community why I even found out about furries in the first place, as to why I think anime people are just as harsh or even more harsh than, normies in the fandom, is people in the anime community had a really hard time with being a weeb, an otaku, a fan of anime growing up. And I think because now online there has been a switch to making fun of anime fans to making fun of furry fans, that I think that the anime community is sort of hopping on board, or they're bandwagoning into, hating furries, because they just want to join in with all the hate furry fun that's all over the internet. Now, I really do think that's the case. I have been out during Halloween, out in conventions, and I'm wearing my fursuit, I'm all dressed up, and I see people dressed as, Full Metal Alchemist and My Hero Academia, and they're dressed as characters from all sorts of anime shows, and I go up to them and I'm like, I love your costume, it's so awesome, I love Todoroki, I love My Hero Academia, it's such a great anime show. And what do I get in response because I'm dressed up like this? Like, come on, that is just so rude. Like, why am I getting reactions from anime fans in cosplay, pure, just laughter and disgust because I'm a furry? It's so bizarre. I don't even get reactions like that with just regular people walking around. And you have no idea how many times someone in the anime community who get misunderstood and others think that maybe an anime fan is also a furry due to, I don't know, their character having Neko ears or a tail, right? And so they get called a furry, and in response they're like, ew, I'm not a furry, gross. Like what? I don't understand. I really don't get it. We, in response, us furries don't go response when we get told that we're an otaku or a weeb, ew, I don't want those animes, gross. No way, I'm a furry, not one of those anime weirdos, okay? Ugh, it upsets me so bad. I don't know why there has to be this otaku versus furry thing. It's almost like the anime community is saying, hey, we might be weird, but we're not weird like those furries. Now, those furries are the actual weird ones here. And so why does it have to be that way? It just breaks my heart because I am in love with anime and manga. I mean, look at my new background. It's just manga pages, okay? Alright? I have Ultra Maniac and Kingdom Hearts and Fruit Basket all on my wall. I have D and Angel all up there, that side. Like, I love these animes. I grew up with it watching anime, and my character just happens to be a furry. And yes, I am a fan of a lot of Disney characters, a lot of anthropomorphic animals. I'm just the type that takes it to the extreme, and I get a suit of my character. Both have our own characters. We both like dressing up as characters. And it's like the only difference is that we have our characters who happen to be animals. Like in any other, like if you watch anime and you read manga, there's always like a sidekick character who is an anthropomorphic animal, or like everyone loves Nekos and you know, furry girls or whatnot, and it's just baffling that because this small distinction that we are treated as these gross, perverted, like people that wear these costumes. Like, we don't wear as scandalous as some of y'all cosplayers do. Hey, I'm just saying, alright? I mean, there's dark sides on both fandom. There are extreme weirdos and creeps on both sides. And I'm sure if you're a viewer and you're watching and you're a fan of anime or that you're a furry, I'm sure you met on both sides creeps and weirdos. I'm sure not even in any of the fandoms, I'm sure just in regular life you met creeps and weirdos. It's like, you can't escape them. But do not tell me there's not any weird things in the anime community, okay? Because I read Made in the Abyss, okay? I've seen those videos. You know what I'm talking about? The one that starts with an H, the adult. Yeah. Okay. Let's just move on from that. All I'm trying to say is that I think we all just need to have fun and not care so much of who's the bigger weirdo of them all. Like, we both want to dress up, we both want to have fun, and you know what? You might be surprised and figure out there's actually a lot that we have in common, which I personally think we do. I almost don't think I can be a furry without being a fan of anime, you know? And there are a lot of people in the furry fandom who don't like anime at all. Like, I have a friend, one of my best friends, Lolly, who only likes Western, you know, cartoons and doesn't like anime at all, and she's a furry, right? So, it doesn't have to like coexist together, but I find it, at least in my own experiences, that it does correlate, right? If you like anime, then you most likely would probably have fun in being a furry. Now, I'm not gonna give furries a, you know, pass, right? I know there's some furries that also hate on the anime community, or they just don't understand anime and they think it's just all fan servicey, and you know, come on now. Furries can be a little fan servicey too. let's not lie, okay? And I'm trying to keep this not too much adult, because the thing is that's kind of dividing the both is a little bit of adult things. So it's kind of hard to talk about in this video, so I might dive a little bit into it, but I'll try not to get like too deep, because I do like to stay away from all the adult topics. I think other people do enough of that, so we don't need more of talking about drama or adult things. Now, again, with furries, I think there's a problem with some furries that whenever a group hates on us, then we tend to get defensive and hate on that group too. So I actually think like both groups can get along pretty well, but because some furries can be really defensive, I mean, everyone can be defensive, but especially what I've seen in some cases, so they tend to want to attack the anime group because of how harsh they are on us. And they are, they completely are, and especially with my own experiences. I was even at the bookstore earlier today, and there was these group of kids, well, not kids actually, I think they were a bit older. They're like teenagers, so they were at the bookstore, they were buying manga, they were like naming all of these mangas that I personally really like. they were wanting some, like, they were trying to find some like horror manga, and they were trying to pick between the two, and me trying to be my friendly self and not trying to be, you know, introverted, because it's so hard for me because I tend to be very introverted when I go out. So I'm there in the bookstore, you know, looking at manga, and they're trying to pick between these two books, and you know, I turn around and I'm like, you know what? I personally think Shiver is better, and I think you should go with that one because I've read both of them. I'm trying to be as friendly to them as possible, and the boy is like, looks at me and he's like, oh, and doesn't say anything. And then my social anxiety starts to kick up, and I'm like, oh no, did I like butt in? Did they not want to talk to strangers? Like, I don't know, I'm just trying to be friendly. And so like, as I'm like freaking out with like my like lack of social skills and my anxiety, I can see that this guy was also going through the same. And so I was like, oh, okay, like I just need to relax, because I think like he wasn't expecting me to come up to him and talk to him, right? I was like, yeah, you know, it's a really good book, you know. And so like, oh, but I found what book that I wanted. So I guess I'm gonna leave now, because I didn't want to like interrupt what he was doing. And he was there hanging out with his friends, but like all him and his groups of friends, they're all chatting really loud, like they were all around me. Like I was there in the corner, like, you know, looking at books, and they're all around me looking, you know, really talkative. And I was just like, oh, these are a bunch of outgoing otakus, like maybe I should talk to them and, you know, be friendly. But they were just as socially awkward as any other furry I would meet. Don't pretend that we're the weirdos, that we're the anti-social group, or awkward and have no social skills, because hey, my experience in that exact same situation with these 3 teenage kids, that I was like, hey, that's a good book, I recommend it if you're having trouble picking between the two. And his friends just freezing, freaking out, and like completely like don't know what to say to me. It's like, and it's not like I was wearing my fursuit, like don't get me, like I was just in normal clothes, I was just my normal self. But I think that, you know, with both communities, sometimes like when we go out and experience like interaction with like different kinds of people, like we're just not expecting it to be, so we don't know how to like react or what to say. But usually when I go up to like furries, right, it's typically like, they're typically really friendly. Maybe they're more quiet, but at least they say something. Like it's just so bizarre that we're just labeled as these weirdos, that antisocial, or we can't communicate. And I've experienced the same situation with like both sides. Like, yeah, it happens sometimes in the furry fandom, but hey, like it's happened to me plenty of times when I'm just here, you know, trying to make friends or just trying to talk to people, especially since I moved into a new town. I'm like, hey, like maybe I can make some friends with, you know, people who like anime. I can go to the bookstore, get some manga. Oh look, here's some anime friends, you know. And it's almost impossible, because people in the anime community also have a hard time communicating or making friends or putting themselves up there, because both sides have experienced bullying and hate towards, you know, meeting new people, making friends, and expressing themselves. So we tend to hide things a lot more because of that experience that we both have. We're not just the way that we are just because, it's because of how society and people have treated us. So that's why I'm here to tell you, especially you guys in the anime community, that don't continue that. Like, it's happened to y'all, don't say that it hasn't, because I know it has, because it's happened to me. I was in the anime community and I was made fun of for liking anime. Y'all know how it feels more than anybody else. So just cut us, like, furries, some slack, okay? A lot of us in the furry community see how y'all treat us or how you look at us or how you talk about us, and it's just not fair. Just cut us some slack, and us furries will cut you some slack, all right? Because it's not fair that us furries as well, that we also like hate on the anime community, and we bring up that it's more pervy and it's more this and there's more creeps and there's more that, whatever, the list goes on. It's just not fair for us both to just attack us with like the things that we don't like about the communities the most. Let's just talk about things that are just awesome about the community and just accept each other for what we are, for our awesome shows, our awesome books, /manga, /comic books, for amazing costumes that take a lot of work, a lot of hours, and a lot of money, and a lot of time. Just appreciate what both communities bring in to the world and just have fun. In every one of my videos, I'm sure I'm going to be saying, just accept who you are, have fun, don't be afraid to express yourself the way you want to. Even though furry seems like a really easy punching bag, I think it's easy to say for the anime community, it's a pretty easy punching bag as well. And I've been hit by both sides. So please, at least for me, just stop, because I'm already getting hate from both sides of whichever part I'm coming from. Accept both so that I don't have to be in the crossfire, or many of us are in the crossfire of both. So I think this video turned out to be more of, please anime people, please stop making fun of us, than anything else. But yeah, it just breaks my heart that both of our communities don't get along, and I guess there's more to say that we experience too much judgment, especially from the anime community, and so I'm here to tell you guys that, hey, we're just like you. We are more similar than different. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. If you like anime and furry content, please subscribe, hit that bell. And yeah, I love you guys so much. See you guys in the next video. Candy says